Hello, Becky and Chris.
Hello,
I'm Melissa.
I'm Jonathan.
About 6 months ago, Jonathan started talking about Becky and Chris basically nonstop. I was like, "Did you make
Yeah,
new friends? What's going
they're
on?"
my internet friends. No, we run a business up here in Toronto called Raw Signal Group, and we do like management training and coaching and work with organizations and transformation. At least cool stuff. We're very passionate about it. But we moved to a new space, and
Mm.
our old space was in the distillery district. It was beautiful. You could point a camera in any random direction, and you would get something beautiful. And when we moved into this space, we got a lot of things that mattered a lot to us, but it meant that our camera moved to like a an 8 by 12 room with white walls.
And when you search on the internet for how do you outfit an 8 by 12 room with white walls into a studio, Becky and Chris are basically all that come up.
So this is still in progress. If you if you have edits, you should let us know. If you're like, where's the practicals? You need practicals. That's great. But like 6 months ago, we weren't using those words. And so if we've gotten to anything that looks halfway decent here, oh my God, like thank you so much.
Just a huge thank you. Like every time we got stuck along the way, every part of this process where we got to a point where we're like, oh man, like we mostly know what we're doing, but we're starting to feel a little bit out over our skis. We just watched the next video and you all had answers. And not only did you have answers, you had like very patient step by step of here's what you do instead of the stupid thing that you were about to do this other thing. Way smarter than anything we would have come up with.
We are almost certainly visible in your views. Like just the 5 sets in one like basement video, the number of times we have watched that and paused and be like, wait, did she say that's an amaran or is that an aperture? Like which light is she using there? Why do I know these names? Like that's all. Neither of us, like, I mean, we both like taking photos and stuff like that. We both want our video quality to be good, but neither of us is a professional photographer or videographer or sound engineer or any of that. And so like we've had to build this all learning as fast as we could.
We write about management and leadership and we put stuff out onto the internet. We write a biweekly newsletter called worldsbestnewsletter.com. And when we put stuff out, people often write back and say like this connected or this really like stuck out for us. And it's just, we just felt like we needed to let you know that not only did it connect, it really shaped like, I mean, obviously you can see it. You can see your fingerprints all over our studio and set design. But it also, in terms of how you brought it to life and really made it accessible, deeply connected for the two of us.
It
So
matters
thank
a
you.
lot. It's also interesting that like it may not be obvious to you because I think you were mostly building stuff for streamers and like YouTube channels
Yeah.
and stuff like that. We started with like, how do you build a good Zoom backdrop, right? We're in like corporate context. Even when people are buying tickets to one of our programs from wherever, it's really businessy, right? And so like Zoom is the medium much more and like interactive, much more than YouTube or Twitch or whatever. And and all the advice out there on like how to build a good Zoom backdrop, mm-mm, it's like it's very like consider a light. It's really,
Have you thought about a bookcase?
really
Yes.
sort of elementary. And once we figured out that we needed to find the people who were giving advice to YouTube streamers, that's when everything changed. That's when we found your stuff, and it all started to make sense. And specifically, like in terms of the gratitude, one, the generosity of doing it for sure. I get like content creator economies and stuff, but still, like you put a lot of work into it, and we really appreciate that. But also calling out the visual elements and the technical elements, right? Like, and we use this overhead thing when we're doing this, and like, here's the setting that we've got on this camera. Like, that stuff's very helpful. We did not clone your tech, but knowing how you're thinking about it allowed us to dimensionalize it and say, like, okay, now we know the shape of the problem. We might make different choices, but like now we know the shape of it.
Also, thank you for calling out paint colors by name. That was really helpful.
Yep. Benjamin Moore Black.
Obviously.
Can't fight it. Can't fight it. You're also, you should know, one of the only people who give this advice about two people in a shot.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to find people who are giving staging or lighting or any kind of advice when there's more than one speaker. So we appreciate you.
Sending love from Canada. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Becky and Chris.
Bye.